No DQ Galaxy. We are live with a recap of Monday Night Raw for November 4th, 2024, coming off the Crown Jewel Premium Live event. This was a taped show. WWE taped Raw on Sunday in Saudi Arabia. Typically, I do not recap the taped shows, but I figured since this was coming off a major premium live event and it was a different atmosphere from your standard episode of Monday Night Raw, I would go live and give my thoughts. Let's go ahead and break it down. And thank you to everyone watching this, whether it's live or on demand. Thank you for your viewership and support. We kicked off with a Crown Jewel video package recapping the show. Michael Cole and Corey Graves were doing commentary this week. They usually commentate SmackDown, although they will be switching up the commentary teams in January when Pat McAfee returns. It will be Michael Cole and McAfee on Monday nights when Raw moves to Netflix. We had Liv Morgan, the women's champion, coming to the ring with Dominik and Raquel. Liv Morgan showed off her crown jewel ring that she won along with the championship. The championship stays in Saudi Arabia, but she'll wear the ring around. Will it become WWE's version of the Dynamite Diamond ring? That remains to be seen. They were interrupted very quickly by the women's tag team champions, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. There was some trash talking. Liv Morgan tried to cause friction between Bianca and Jade, but that did not work. And then Adam Pearce showed up and set up a number one contender battle royal with the winner challenging Liv Morgan for the title at some point. And furthermore, he revealed that Jade and Bianca would be part of the match. We had our battle royal, and it was your standard battle royal, standard TV battle royal. You had a few highlights in it, though. You had Katana Chance pulling a Kofi Kingston, avoiding elimination by doing a handstand, but then she, of course, got eliminated. Then Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair worked together. They eliminated the Pure Fusion Collective. Then we were down to 4. The champions were working together, but then after hitting their finishers at the same time to Io Sky and Lyra Valkyria, Raquel interfered. She grabbed Bianca's hair, tried to pull her out of the ring. Jade Cargill tried to save Bianca, but then Liv Morgan got on the apron and grabbed Jade. Jade and Bianca ended up going over the top and were eliminated. So it was down to Io and Lyra Valkyria. They fought on the apron, and Io ended up delivering a German suplex on the apron, sending Lyra to the floor. Io Sky, your former women's champion, will now get a rematch against Liv Morgan at a date to be determined. It was solid. I'm fine with Io Sky getting the opportunity, although I pretty much consider her to be a filler feud for Liv Morgan, while Rhea Ripley is out of action. Now, backstage, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston were interviewed. Xavier basically blamed Kofi Kingston for getting pinned last week, and they were arguing about that. Then we had an interruption from the Wyatt Six. We had a VHS tape play. The Miz had been abducted by the Wyatt Six. And we had a little clip of the B team from back in the day. Then Miz tried to say it wasn't him that was involved with the Final Testament. He's not part of the group. He has nothing to do with what they're doing. But Bo Dallas showed up and revealed that he doesn't care about the final testament. They care about The Miz. They want The Miz. And then video cut out as The Miz was seemingly about to be murdered by the Wyatt Six. I want to be interested in this. I like the fact that they're trying something different, and it's out of the box a little bit, but man, I really don't have much interest in The Miz versus Bo Dallas at this point. I hate to say it because I really want to like the Wyatt Six. I feel like they need more in-ring time, and it's getting a little bit too goofy. But, people enjoyed the B team reference, so at least they're on TV at this point. I'll say that much. We had some footage of Bill Goldberg announcing that he will be coming back for one more match. He will be facing somebody. We don't know who, we don't know when, but the indication is that it will in fact be Gunther, as teased at Bad Blood last month. Goldberg coming back. Unfortunately for him, I feel like he's going to be overshadowed by John Cena's retirement. We'll see what happens and what they end up doing with Goldberg and Gunther. Will it be WrestleMania? Will it be another pay-per-view? I guess that remains to be seen. I'm like, whatever at this point. As long as Goldberg is putting over Gunther, I really don't care. Would it be better to have Goldberg go against somebody he can squash? I don't know. I'm happy for Goldberg, though, that he's getting his final send-off before he retires. We'll see what happens. We had the New Day versus the War Raiders in a tag team match. Fairly standard match. War Raiders did a lot of power moves. Ivar sending Xavier into the LED apron screen with the crossbody. Eric slamming Ivar into Xavier. Kofi Kingston did get the hot tag and was building up momentum for his team. He went for the tip, the Trouble in Paradise, but Xavier Woods tagged himself in. And of course, that was the downfall of the group. And War Raiders won with the War Machine double team finisher on Xavier Woods. I guess they're faces at this point, the War Raiders. Michael Cole on commentary was talking about their long road to recovery. Yeah, looks like they're faces. New Day, Kofi's a good guy, but Xavier's kind of teetering on the dark side. War Raiders, makes sense to build them up as a babyface tag team, especially if they go after Judgment Day for the tag team titles, right? Finn Balor and JD McDonough, they're the tag champs, right? I've almost forgotten which team holds the titles at this point, but that's what I could see coming up in the near future. Still waiting for something significant with the New Day, either the full-fledged split or Big E comes back or something. They keep dragging this thing out, and I'm ready for the next step in this storyline. WWE did announce that they will be producing this lengthy European tour in March. And as part of this tour, there will be 6 televised events. Raw and SmackDown coming to multiple European cities. They're coming to Italy. They're coming to Belgium. And they're going to be doing two shows in London, one for Raw, one for SmackDown, one in Scotland. That is going to be a great tour. I love it. I think it's an excellent idea. Right before WrestleMania, you were going to get some very rabid crowds on the road to WrestleMania. I'm hyped for it. Means a lot of tape shows unless they air it live on Netflix, which I guess they could do. Maybe on Netflix we actually get to watch the shows in the afternoon. We'll see what they do. Sami Zayn came to the ring to address Crown Jewel. He spoke in Arabic, of course. Got a big pop from the fans in Saudi Arabia. We had Jey Uso quickly interrupt, and he questioned if the haluva kick to Roman Reigns was an accident or not. Now, before Zayn could answer, Jimmy Uso came down. He outright thought that Sami Zayn did it on purpose and said that Sami Zayn cannot be trusted. Now, Sami Zayn brought up how if anybody cannot be trusted, it's Jimmy. Jimmy was on good terms with them, and one by one, Jimmy kicked them all in the face, including Jey. Crowd was chanting Sami Uso, and then Zayn said he doesn't hate Jimmy. He said Jimmy's not a bad guy, but Jimmy makes a lot of bad decisions. Kind of sounds like Jimmy McGill. Now, Sami Zayn said that he came to Crown Jewel to help out Jey. And he said for a minute, when it was the four of them in the ring with Roman Reigns, it felt like old times. It felt pretty damn good. But then, just like it always does, it falls apart. Sami Zayn said he's not doing this again. He said he's not going to be put on trial again. He loves Jey, but he's out. He left the ring, and then Jey got on the mic. He asked Sami Zayn to appear on SmackDown so all four guys can talk it out. Jimmy then said Sami Zayn is not family, but Jey said Sami Zayn is family. He sees three Usos. He sees Jimmy, Jey, and Sami Uso. It was a very effective segment to set up the reunion. Will it happen on SmackDown? That remains to be seen. And I do think they're just doing the 4-on-4 War Games, not 5-on-5. They really don't need Cody in there or Kevin Owens. I definitely think they should just stick with the 4 versus 4 for the men's War Games. What about the women's War Games? I thought it was going to be Team Rhea versus Team Liv, but with Rhea out, maybe they just don't do a women's War Games this year. Why not do a women's traditional Survivor Series match? How about that? I would prefer one War Games, and I like the setup here with Sami Zayn. The crowd is definitely feeling Usi, and we'll see what happens on SmackDown. Now, Seth Rollins was interviewed backstage to hype up the Fatal 4-Way #1 Contenders match for Gunther's world title. And he talked about Bronson Reed a little bit. He said that he respects Bronson Reed bringing the fight, but Rollins is now turning his attention to winning gold. We kind of know how this story goes. Anytime somebody says, I'm moving past this guy, and now I'm focusing on something else, we all see how that goes. Remember CM Punk? I'm done with Drew McIntyre. And then he wasn't. So anyways, I think without even reading the spoilers, I think people knew where this was going. We had Dragon Lee versus Chad Gable, which was actually a hell of a match. Really good match here with these two. Dragon Lee was taking some bumps, man. He took a back body drop off the apron onto the floor, and then after the break, he got thrown into the corner and damn near got dropped on his head. And then they exchanged suplexes. They were countering each other's suplex attempts. They were putting on a clinic here. And then we had the outside interference. We had Chad Gable trying to cheat with his feet on the ropes. And Zelina Vega stopped him, pushed his feet off. Ivy Nile attacked Zelina Vega, and then Rey Mysterio ran down, and in all the chaos, Chad Gable tried to grab at Rey's mask. Rey kicked Gable, and that allowed Dragon Lee to take advantage. Dragon Lee pinned Gable with I believe the finisher is called the Operation Dragon. Dragon Lee picks up a win. Definitely worth checking out. If you missed Raw, this is one I would recommend checking out. Very good match with these two. And then backstage, Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser were interviewed about Crown Jewel. Gunther losing to Cody Rhodes. Kaiser said it was luck, but Gunther cut him off, admitted that Cody was the better man, and said it's up to him and Kaiser to do better. And the crowd applauded this. Very interesting. Almost felt like Gunther acting like a babyface. Interesting. We had our four-way main event. Damian Priest versus Seth Rollins versus Sheamus versus Dominik Mysterio. Good main event here with these four. Dominik trying to avoid the other three, but that did not work out for him. Dominik did get in some offense, and then you had Sheamus and Priest going at it for a while. Sheamus started to build up momentum. He was feeding off the crowd. They were red hot. But then Rollins got back in the mix. Rollins was on the verge of winning with the stomp, and that's when Bronson Reed showed up. And since it's a four-way, no DQ, Bronson Reed was just attacking everybody to get his hands on Rollins. He was attacked by both Sheamus and Priest, but Priest was able to fight both of them off, Reed was able to fight off both Priest and Sheamus. He came off the top with a tsunami to both men, and then he took Rollins to the outside, put him on the announce table, and put Rollins through the table with the tsunami. And then back in the ring, Dominik tried to take advantage. He came off the top with the frog splash to Sheamus, but Priest broke up the pin. Dominik hit the 619 to Priest and then went up top for the frog splash, but Priest got to his feet. He caught Dominik and picked up the win with the South of Heaven chokeslam. And then after the match was over, we had Gunther in the ring, a little face-off with Priest to set up their world title match at a date to be determined. They did not say it was at Survivor Series. What's up with CM Punk? I mean, he wasn't going to be in Saudi Arabia, but I thought we were going to see CM Punk go for the world title after he was done with Drew. But no mention of CM Punk. Drew McIntyre taking a break, spending time with family. Shout out to Galvin316 on X. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. This was interesting. I mean, Priest getting his rematch, cool. Is this Survivor Series worthy? I'm not sure. I think a lot of us were expecting CM Punk in the Survivor Series spot. Maybe they're going to save it for Saturday night's main event. Both number one contenders matches, they did not confirm when these matches will be taking place. So it is possible WWE will save them for Saturday night's main event instead of Survivor Series. But in that case, what are you doing for Survivor Series? A few questions regarding that, but all in all, solid taped show. I really liked the vibe in Saudi Arabia, the atmosphere, the crowd was really hot. I liked the arena. Like when they showed clips from Raw, every NBA arena pretty much looks the same, like with few variations, but the look of the show was always the same. At least in Saudi Arabia with this venue, you know, you have that LED screen with Raw, and they have different lighting. It just has a different vibe, and it felt fresh. I liked it in that sense. The show itself was pretty solid, more about building up SmackDown and then setting up new number one contenders. But it wasn't too solid, or it wasn't too bad, I should say. I'd probably go with a B minus. Not a must see Raw by any means, but I did enjoy it. I liked the Sami Zayn segment. The matches were good. The crowd was hot. It was an easy watch for 2 hours. Now, I want to give a shout out to Walter Cruz, Rage of Wrestling, who sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that, Walter. Walter says, for the women, do another multi-team for the tag team titles, but you have to eliminate both members of each team. You get the titles on pay-per-view and an element of Survivor Series. That's an interesting idea for Survivor Series. I mean, I definitely would not be opposed to it, and you get more people on the show. I'm all for them trying some different concepts for Survivor Series. I, for one, love the old school Survivor Series matches. You know what I would like to see them bring back? I would like to see the wild card match bring back. If you're going to do a women's match, I wouldn't mind seeing that. Maybe have Liv Morgan being forced to team up with Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill or something like that. Could make for an interesting match, or where Tiffany Stratton is on one side and Nia Jax is on the other side. Doesn't even have to be Raw versus SmackDown. Just have it be completely wild card at random. I missed that match. I think that's a very underrated Survivor Series match from 1995, the wild card match. I mean, WWE loves the can they coexist concept. So why not? That's an idea. I think a solid idea from Walter. You could do that. But yeah, I hope we get the traditional Survivor Series match this year. And I would be fine with just the men doing the War Games match. Doesn't always have to be strictly equal. Men have a War Games match, so women have to have one as well. You don't have to do that. Plus, the women get the Royal Rumble match. I still think they should do 2 nights for that, though. Anyways, guys, thank you all for tuning in to the live stream tonight. And Wednesday, I will be recapping both NXT and AEW Dynamite for the first time in quite a while, a couple of years at least. I will be watching both shows simultaneously. It's tough, but I'm going to do it. I'll be recapping both shows and giving my thoughts. No DQ Review, Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. We'll be talking about the fallout from Crown Jewel and what's to come with Survivor Series. So tune in for that. Have a great week, everyone. Stay safe. Say yes to NoDQ.com. And I will see you all next time.